After Josh Allen's superstar performance this last Sunday, he has locked up the MVP award, and with this Buffalo offense clicking, they have the best shot at taking down the Chiefs this year. This Buffalo offense has reached another gear over these past few months. Throughout the last 8 games, they've scored 30-plus points, and over the last 3 weeks, they've achieved over 35 points per game, and we've seen them knock off some big-time teams in the process. But throughout this stretch, Josh Allen continues to impress me more and more as the weeks go on. A guy that was always tagged as a quarterback that would put the ball in harm's way and would always turn the ball over and would ultimately cost his team has completely shifted. He's become one of the most efficient quarterbacks in the NFL, and he is absolutely lighting it up on his way to winning his first ever MVP. And I'll admit, I was a little skeptical on this Buffalo offense at first. Of course, we all know the top 2 weapons that they lost in Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis. And they would have to rely on increased production from their 2 tight ends and from guys like Khalil Shakir and Curtis Samuel. And they've absolutely found that. Khalil Shakir was dynamic in this game against the Rams. Mac Hollins has given some big time production in situations. And of course, we know the type of plays that James Cook can make out of the backfield as well. He has been so dominant in this Buffalo rushing attack and just makes this offense so scary. But at the end of the day, it all comes back to number 17 and what he's doing on his way to his MVP campaign. And we've seen him be special in the past. This is nothing new. Earlier this year against the 49ers, the first ever quarterback in NFL history with a receiving, passing, and rushing touchdown. And then the very next week, in a very close shootout against the Los Angeles Rams, he became the first ever quarterback to have 3 rushing touchdowns and 3 passing touchdowns. But I think for Allen, and what everybody's truly focused on, is what he can do in the postseason. Allen is still chasing his first ever championship berth, and he's had some tough quarterbacks that he's had to get around. In his career, he's 0-3 against Patrick Mahomes in the postseason. We know what happened when Joe Burrow went on the road and beat him in his own home as well. But now it's time to see what he's truly made of now that he's playing the best football of his entire career. Through the first bit of the regular season, I always thought this was a dominant offense that could put up 30 points a game and that would slowly salt you away with this intense run game. But now I've completely shifted my thought process on this team after watching what they've done offensively over these last 3 weeks. 35 points against the Niners in brutal snow weather conditions. 42 points against the Rams in an absolute nail-biter. And then this past weekend, going on the road into Detroit, the number 1 seed in the NFC, and putting up 48 points in a statement win. This Buffalo team is playing its best offense of the season, and they absolutely terrify me. And along with the 2 massive free agent losses that they had in that receiving core, this Buffalo defense was slaughtered on the defensive end as well. And that defense has been a pleasant surprise this year. Coach McDermott has done a tremendous job of getting these guys ready to go. But I would say the one major area of concern is this team's secondary. They're currently giving up the 8th most passing yards per game. And when you're going to go into the postseason facing off against some of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, that is not a recipe for success. We know that Andy Reid, Travis Kelce, and Patrick Mahomes have had the Bills' number. We know that they're not going to have any problems, whether that's playing at home or going on the road and finding rhythm with that offense. Baltimore has been tremendous offensively this year. They're putting up the most points per game in the entire NFL, and Lamar Jackson's putting together a significant MVP case. And Russell Wilson and the Steelers have unlocked their down-the-field offense as well with George Pickens. So I'm not saying Buffalo's at any sort of major disadvantage, but when you're going up against guys like Mahomes or Lamar Jackson, it is definitely a point for concern. But without a doubt, I think that Buffalo is currently the team to beat in the AFC right now. We saw them knock off Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. We saw them go on the road and beat the number 1 team in the NFC in the Detroit Lions. But the one major test for this team is, can Josh Allen get this monkey off his back and go into Arrowhead and knock off the 2-time reigning defending champs in the Kansas City Chiefs? I'm Caden Kubler, and thanks for watching.